Ah, Sakura, careful with that shelf. These books haven't been touched in years.
Professor, why did you bring me to an abandoned HR training room? It smells like old paper and unfulfilled ambitions. There must be 50 management textbooks in here. Nobody's read them.
That is rather the point. This room holds every answer Japan's companies gave to the question of how do we manage people for 30 years. And yet, here they sit. Let me give you a number. Among Japanese managers today, 49.2% say their workload has increased significantly.
Almost half. That sounds exhausting.
And here is where it gets interesting. Among workers in their 20s, only 27.6% want to become a manager, down from 33.8% just 7 years ago.
That's already quite a drop.
And it gets worse. For workers in their 30s, it dropped nearly 10 points, from 30.4% to 20.5%.
Wait, only 1 in 5 30-somethings wants the job?
Correct. They watch their managers, the long hours, the pressure, the blame when things go wrong. And they think, not for me. A separate survey asked managers how many subordinates they genuinely trust. The average? 2.88 people.
Out of how many?
A typical team of 8 to 12. The researchers' conclusion was blunt. Delegating everything to one manager, that model is already at its limit.
So the whole system is leaning on one person, and fewer people want to be that person.
Beautifully put.
But, Professor, these books were supposed to solve all this. Why didn't they work?
You know, Sakura, these books were written for a different Japan. Postwar manufacturing, the era of Kaizen. The model was simple. Give clear instructions, check for compliance, repeat. Researchers now call this the dog-type management style.
Dog-type? As in loyal? Obedient?
Exactly. Constant reporting up the chain, no independent decisions, always reading the room before acting. Effective when the environment is stable and predictable. But that environment no longer exists.
Because of AI.
AI is accelerating the shift. But even before AI, the cracks were showing. A management professor put it plainly. Stop thinking employees need to be managed at all. The cat-type employee acts autonomously, raises an alarm only when something is genuinely wrong. And when that signal comes, it means something.
I actually get that. My friend at a startup never sends status updates. But when she calls me, I know something is really wrong.
Sharp as always. Now, a real case. Workman, a Japanese work apparel chain, abolished all corporate entertainment. No client dinners, no golf, no office year-end parties. Their managing director argued that entertainment is what managers do when they don't know the business well enough to have a real conversation.
That's wild. What do they do instead?
Data. Proposals backed by actual customer purchasing behavior. Franchise owners don't care about relationships. They care about profit. In the fiscal year ending March 2026, Workman posted net profit of roughly 19 billion yen, about $125 million, up 17% year over year.
So skipping the golf actually worked. Okay, Professor, the system is broken. How do you fix it?
Here is a number that should stop you cold. The share of workers under 40 who receive management training in Japan, 7.4%. In the United States, 20.7%. In China, 30.8%.
Japan is last?
By a wide margin. And it continues at the top. Among the 100 largest companies by market value, 67% of U.S. CEOs hold a graduate degree. In Japan, 15.3%.
So Japan is handing people the steering wheel without the driving lessons.
That is exactly the point. When Japanese companies are asked how they develop leaders, the top answer is throwing people into difficult situations, what they call crucible experiences. 53% of companies rely on this.
That's basically hoping they figure it out on their own.
And that hope is running out. One framework gaining traction shifts organizations from what researchers call command and control toward autonomous co-creation. Instead of one manager holding all the answers, the whole team surfaces ideas, challenges assumptions, and drives outcomes together. The insight is simple. Changing the quality of communication is where problem-solving begins.
So instead of one person with all the answers, the whole room figures it out together.
Except this room, apparently. These books still have all the answers. They just don't match the questions anymore.
Professor, that is the saddest joke I've heard all week.
Good. You've been listening to Narrative Japan. Until next time, stay curious and keep listening for the whispers beneath Japan's economy.